Gemma's one too.
Well, he had a very close connection with this show, and often spent, you might not believe it, often spent his mornings watching, even phoning in on occasion. And you may remember that he was unveiled as the mystery man who donated £50,000 to one of our Christmas appeals.
And in typical George style, he'd tried to keep this anonymous, but Richard and Judy weren't having any of it, and this is a clip from their last day.
And we had a message that somebody had actually donated, rather than toys, cash to the value of £50,000, which allowed us to actually chart a couple of aeroplanes and send 2 plane loads of very needy and deprived children to meet Santa Claus in Lapland. And the person who made that donation was desperate to be anonymous, but we wouldn't allow it. And it was George Michael, and he's on the phone now. Hello, George.
Hello, George.
Hi, Richard. How are you doing?
Well, great. How are you?
Hi.
I'm good. Hi, Judy.
Hello. Hi. Where are you calling from? Home?
I'm at home in Goring, yeah.
What would you like to say?
Well, let me see. First, I'd just like to say thank you very much for easing me into the day for the last, I don't know, 10 years I've probably been watching the show.
Oh.
Can I say hello to Denise as well?
Go on, please do like.
I'd just like to tell you I think you're a real diamond. Wow. And you've had your work cut out for you, haven't you, over the years?
Well,
You've always got Richard sitting next to you talking rubbish. Well, can I say hello to Paul as well?
Oh, yeah, Paul.
This is you, George, yeah?
Yeah, this is me.
I can't believe
All right,
it's
George,
George Michael on the phone.
George, thank you so much for calling us.
I'm talking to you.
It's lovely to have your good wishes. And
Yeah, I just wanted to say
thank you.
because
That's
I'm
very
really going
kind
to
of
miss
you.
you.
And thank you for that donation. It meant a lot to a lot of kids. It was really good of you to do
Oh,
that.
it was my pleasure.
Cheers.
That's so lovely
Oh,
to
I mean,
see.
that bit of film
Yeah.
in so many ways, isn't it, with Denise?
Lovely Denise on there, yeah. Well, what's never been revealed before today, and what only a very small handful of us knew, was that George made another significant donation. And with his family's blessing, and we stress this, we can reveal now that after watching the plight of one of our viewers who was denied fertility treatment on the NHS, he paid for her to have IVF, which resulted in our miracle this morning baby.
And that viewer was Jo Maidment, and she's here with us now. Oh, Jo, it's so lovely to have you here. But you're feeling a bit emotional. I know it's been quite tough for you already because you've had a bit of flack this morning, haven't you, online about you coming on here today. But you've actually decided to donate your fee, haven't you, today to a charity. Tell us why you chose that charity.
It's just my way of saying thank you to George. I can't ever thank him enough for what he'd done for me and my husband. I never got to thank him personally, but this is our way of saying thank you. So it's going to Childline.
That's
That's what he supported.
When we asked you if you might like to come on, obviously there are loads of checks because you make sure that the family are incredibly happy about the fact that, and they want to share the good things now about what he did. And this is the tip of the iceberg. I have a feeling there are many people who haven't said anything and all promise not to say something. You spoke to his PA, Michelle, didn't you? And who was with his sisters at the time?
Yes, she was.
And
And
what
they
did they
said
say?
they're more than happy and they're very glad that this is coming out. It's what he would have wanted. I didn't want to do anything without the approval of the family, and I wouldn't.
So, what happened?
I came on in 2010 because we'd been denied IVF because my husband already had a daughter. So
It's terrible, isn't it? You get denied the chance.
Yeah, it was just something that, and Denise, I was in contact with Denise, she felt very strongly about it, so we came on to talk about it. And then I'd been home 2 days and I just got a phone call from a PA who said a businessman would like to donate some money for one cycle of IVF for you.
But what did you think when that happened? Were you sort of immediately like, yes, that sounds great?
No, I didn't believe it at first. I thought, oh, no, that's
Sounds
not right.
dodgy.
Doesn't happen to us, things like that don't happen. And it took me a good few days to respond, really, to say yes. I didn't want to agree with it because that's not what I came on the show for. I was just trying to put it out how it is, help other people in my position. And then we agreed to it.
What made you agree?
Because she said that's what this particular man wanted. He said he wanted us to have a baby.
And this PA was someone called Michelle.
Yeah.
And that's the Michelle that you knew over
And
a
that's
period
all
of
we knew.
time. That's
Yeah,
all
that's
you
all we
knew.
knew.
No clue who the businessman
Nothing,
was.
nothing at all.
And so you had that, decided to use the money, and the businessman paid for that first round of IVF. And sadly, it didn't end in great happiness,
No.
did it?
We had a miscarriage. And we received flowers from him and her after the miscarriage.
So lovely.
We then had frozen eggs embryos from that cycle, so we saved up enough money to have them put back in a year later, which was positive. And then 2012 we had Betsy.
See, look at Betsy there with Denise again. I mean, was it lovely being able to introduce her to
Yeah, it was
Denise, who
amazing.
started this whole
Yeah.
journey for you?
Amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
what we loved, and which was such a fabulous story, was that Betsy was the this morning miracle baby, and as we said, there were about 3 or 4 of us who knew how that had come about.
How did you find out that it was George?
It wasn't until a couple of weeks after we was home with Betsy, and we'd had loads of cards and some flowers, and we got in, and there was a massive bouquet of flowers that came, and I thought, oh, aren't they lovely? And I read the card,
I've got the card,
and that's when it said
and
who it
this
was.
was the moment when you read this. This
was
was
it.
the moment.
Yeah.
Did you sort of look at that a couple of times and think,
I looked
Does
it
that
out.
actually say George
Yeah.
George Michael?
I think me and my husband must have read it hundreds of times to believe it.
maybe it's a businessman, George Michael?
It says, congratulations to you both. Lots of love to Betsy. Love from Michelle and George Michael, in brackets, aka Anonymous. Kiss, kiss.
How hard was that to keep that anonymous? I mean, you know, were friends of yours going, do you know who it is?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but then I thought, out of respect, it's what he wanted, it's
Yeah.
what Michelle had asked for. So, and we did. And until this day,
Who knew?
no, what? Denise. Told Denise.
Mm.
And she said, don't worry, your secret's safe with me.
Yeah.
She knew.
Amazing.
And what about since then? Have you, how's your journey been since you've had Betsy? Did you manage to have another child?
Another
didn't
child
you?
naturally.
How fantastic!
Stanley.
That's amazing. Betsy and Stanley, great names, aren't they?
Yeah, look at there.
Oh, so cute. How old's Betsy now?
4.5.
Lovely.
The really sad and poignant thing about all of this, you had this secret connection to George, and I think before we all found out that he'd so tragically died, Betsy was dancing to Last Christmas, wasn't she?
In the kitchen with Daddy, yeah. He was dancing.
So how did you feel?
Oh, I was really upset when I found out, because, like I say, I can never thank him, never get to say it personally to him. Betsy will know, when she's old enough, she will know. It's still taken me a while to process that I'm never going to be able to say thank you,
Yeah.
and he never got to meet her.
Yeah, the thing is though, and with someone like him and that big generous heart that he had, I think the thank you enough is the fact that Betsy's there and he knew quietly that he'd help
Did
that
you
to
stay
happen.
in touch?
Yeah, we sent him photos
That's lovely.
from
Yeah.
when she was born right up to when she started school in September. He had photos.
Well, it's a lovely story, and thank you
Yeah.
for sharing it. And also thank you to George's family as well at this really difficult time for allowing us to tell the tale. And as I said, I'm pretty sure this is the tip of the iceberg. I think he actually did it quite a few times for other people.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Thank you. Thank you. Love to the family.
Up next, for over 10 years,